The first day of the early signing period on Wednesday felt like National Signing Day as big-name recruits across the country finalized their college decisions. 247 Sports takes a look at the day's biggest winners on the trail. Photo: Brett Davis, USA Today Sports. 3 more 5 stars for the Georgia Bulldogs. The nation's number 1 offensive guard Jamari Salyer, number 2 offensive tackle Cade Mason no. 2 strong side defensive end Brendan Cox all announced for UGA as the Bulldogs closed on Ohio State for the no. 1 class in the 247 Sports composite team recruiting rankings. Later Wednesday evening, the Bulldogs flipped 4-star Nadib Joseph from Alabama. Kirby Smart and his staff now have 6 5-stars in the fold as quarterback Justin Fields, running back Zamir White and outside linebacker Adam Anderson also penned their letters of intent on Wednesday. You know who else signed? The country's number 3 running back James Cook, a Florida State legacy who visited Tallahassee over the weekend. 4-star defensive back Devon Wilson also sent in his NLI to UGA as its class grew to 20. And just when you thought Georgia was done for the day, they flipped top 247 cornerback Nadib Joseph from Alabama. If the Buckeyes lose a commitment late Wednesday evening, the Bulldogs will pass OSU in the 247 Sports recruiting rankings. Photo: Matt Pendleton, 247 Sports. Dan Mullen only needed 3 weeks on the job to close one of America's most touted quarterbacks, Emory Jones. There was no question the longtime Ohio State commit was going to flip. The question was always where, until Mullen arrived in Gainesville. Confidence was high around UF leading into Jones's official visit this past weekend, and it never wavered leading up to Wednesday's announcement, where the Franklin G. Heard County standout announced for the Gators over Florida State. Throughout the fall, Alabama and Auburn were 2 other programs that tried to flip Jones to the 247 Sports composite ranks as the nation's number 4 dual-threat quarterback and no. 40 player overall. The Gators also added 4-star safety Trey Dean and now sit on the nation's number 14 recruiting class. Photo: Michael Schroyer, Getty. Clemson missed on Cade Mays, but they also hit on 3 top targets, including the biggest shocker of the day, taking Jackson Carman, the 247 Sports composite's top-ranked defensive tackle, out of the Buckeye State. All 3 finalists, Ohio State and Southern Cal, where the other 2 were in the dark until Wednesday morning, shortly before the Fairfield, Ohio High product announced his plans. Later in the day, the Tigers were finally able to wrap up the recruitment of 5-star defensive end KJ Henry. The Clemens NC West Forsyth standout was considered a long-time lean but took all 5 of his official visits. With Carman and Henry in the fold, Dabo Swinney and his staff now have 4 recruits ranked inside the top 10 of the 247 Sports composite team rankings, with quarterback Trevor Lawrence ranking no. 1, defensive end Xavier Thomas checking in at number 3 and Henry and Carman coming in at number 8 and no. 9. The Tigers also scored the country's number 7 all-purpose back Lynch Dixon and finished the day with 15 signees and the country's number 7 recruiting class. Photo: Harvey Levinfo's 247 Penn State secured the no. 1 player in the state in 5-star defensive end Micah Parsons, who will enroll early and be an immediate difference-maker in Brent Pry's defense. Parsons ranks as the country's no. 4 prospect overall and is the jewel of a class 247 Sports, ranks number 4 nationally. Top 247 receiver Jahan Dotson also flipped from UCLA to the Nittany Lions. Tennessee picked up 4 commitments, including winning a wild one for the country's top-ranked JUCO tight end Dominic Woodenderson. Woodenderson is a one-time Texas verbal that seemed Alabama-bound until a December official to Knoxville changed everything. Jeremy Pruitt and his staff got to work fast upon their recent arrival at UT and also close 2 of the state's best in 4-star offensive tackle Jerome Carvin and his Cordova 10. High teammate Jeremy Banks. The minute Tennessee pushed Banks looked like a ball's lean, but Carvin was a battle and the in-state power won out. Cali quarterback J.T. Shroud also joined the fold as Tennessee's class rises to no. 31. Alabama was the first to chalk up a 4-star recruit on Wednesday when top 247 defensive tackle Christian Barmore announced and signed. 5-star outside linebacker Iabi Anoma, a longtime Bama lean, made it official in the afternoon when he committed to the Crimson Tide. Nick Saban and his staff's class ranks number 5 nationally.